My game crashed right when I went to do this. Thank you, game. That's hilarious. Anyway, guys, before we get into the video, thank you so much for 1,000 subscribers. I'm planning on doing a very special video for this, but let's go ahead and get to the video. Hey, what is up, guys? You're watching Epic Pokemon TCG. In today's video, guys, what I have for you, we're going to be taking a look at a Green's Blacephalon list. Now, this deck was actually submitted by my buddy. He said, here you go, dude. Here is a list for Green's Blacephalon. And I was like, cool. So I tried it out. I like it. It's pretty solid. I feel like this would be a really good starting point for someone wanting to pick this deck up and play it. And I also have a gameplay at the end of the video. I know you guys are super pumped and excited about that. You're proud of me, aren't you? I know that's something that people have been asking. Both subscribers and buddies of mine have been saying, dude, you really need to start putting gameplays in your videos. So I'm going to be trying my best. Okay, sometimes Pokemon TCG Online can be annoying. Sometimes you'll get some random deck that, honestly, if I put that in the video, there's going to be like, oh, well, we wanted gameplays, but it's just some rando deck. And yeah. So if it's like somewhat of a competitive looking deck, I'll put it as the gameplay. And overall, really, I think what I'm just going to try to go for is like pretty much a demonstration on how to play the deck more than anything. So there's going to be a gameplay at the end of this. And the cool thing about this deck is actually a couple things. The first one is I have another variant that I'm going to be covering here probably in a couple of days. It's like a just completely different variant of Blacephalon, so that's going to be really cool to take a look at. And the last time I got top cut was with the Blacephalon deck, so that's pretty cool to kind of revisit this. But the first attack it has is going to be Blazer for 10. You turn one of your face down prize cards face up. If it's a fire energy card, this attack does 50 more damage. Now, you can either like kind of calculate this and figure out whether or not it's a fire energy, or you can get lucky with it, or just you can see what's prize. I mean, but Blazer is a decent attack. But really, what you're going to be doing with this deck is Fireball Circus. It's going to do 50 times the amount of fire energy that you discard from your hand. Now, this deck is kind of geared towards trying to get those energy back into your hand and getting them back in the deck so you can reuse them later and stuff for damage and such. And Blacephalon can dish out a ton of damage. It's a one prize attacker unless you're, of course, facing ADP. But overall, Blacephalon can definitely crank out some damage, and this is really the attack we're going to be doing with this deck the most. But we do have a couple other Pokemon in here that are going to be very helpful. First one is going to be Blacephalon GX, still an incredibly powerful card. It has Bursting Burn. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now Burn and Confused. You never know, this might buy you a turn, or it just might set up some numbers for later. And then Mind Blown for 50, pretty much you just put any number amount of fire energy attached to your Pokemon into the Lost Zone. It's going to do 50 damage times the amount of fire energy you used. And I mean, it's a pretty decent attack. If you get like a welder off and you have like an energy attached to it, that's going to be like 150 and such. This is normally seen with, Noggin and Dell. But it also has Burst GX. Now, this is really what this is in here for. This can either be like an early turn thing, like if you start, just with Blacephalon, you can go ahead and just get a prize card out of the way, or you can save this bad boy for later, which is actually what happens in the gameplay spoiler, and you can just do that. So Burst GX, discard one of your prize cards. If it's an energy card, attach it to one of your Pokemon. So if you're actually able to hit a energy, which is really nice, you can even Blazer, flip it over, and if it's an energy, you can use it later. That's a good little combo. Or, you can just wait till you have one prize card left and just Burst GX and win. So Blacephalon is definitely a very handy card, and overall it's pretty dope. And next up, we're going to take a look at Victini. So Victini is going to be in here pretty much for that late game, mid to late game actually, just resource. Um, what's the word? Recovery. There we go. I found the word, didn't I? So Infinity is going to allow you to just put basic energy back in your deck. And with Blacephalon, what you do is you discard them from your hands. That means you're going to have plenty of targets. And you never know, guys, Victini might have enough energy targets in the discard pile to either knock something out, finish something off, or just absolutely smack something and get it ready for later. So yeah, just 20 times the amount of basic energy you put back in your deck from your discard pile, which is extremely perfect because that means you have just so many energy going back into the deck. You don't have to use your fire crystals, your energy retrievals, and now you have targets for your fiery flint again. So yeah, Victini is just a really nice card to put some energy back in the decks. That way you can use them for later. And honestly, depending on how many you have in there, Victini just becomes an attacker that can hit just as hard as Blacephalon. So pretty cool. So yeah, we only have 6 in here, but really with this deck, that's all you need. And quite frankly, there isn't really anything else that you could put in here that like wouldn't kind of mess things up. Maybe Cramorant V could be something cool to throw in this deck too, just to have like another attacker. That is going to be in the other version of the deck I'm going to be covering. But next up, we're going to take a look at. I guess we can take a look at greens first, since of course it is greens Blacephalon. Welder is a little more important, but both of them, I think, honestly, can share a 50-50. So you can only play this card if you have no Pokemon in play with abilities. So yeah, if you have any Pokemon with abilities, you can't play this card. Search your deck for up to 2 trainer cards, reveal them, and put them in your hand. So that means you can grab, Welder, you can grab, Fire Crystal, Fiery Flint, Lucky Egg, Energy Retrieval, whatever you guys need. You can grab it with greens, and pretty much you can just either grab like double custom catcher or just whatever item cards or trainers you might need for next turn or that turn. You can just pull them straight out of the deck. And then next up we have Welder. So you attach up to 2 fire energy cards from your hand to one of your Pokemon, and then you draw 3 cards. So you can just attach 2 fire energy to Blacephalon, attach another energy, get 3 more, maybe hit like a Fiery Flint, hit some more energy, and then you go from there. You guys kind of see the general strategy of the deck. It is very, very simple. But with the low Pokemon count we have in this deck, we definitely do need some stuff that can search things out. So that's why we're going to run Ultra Space. This is going to grab you all of your Blacephalon, pretty much everything except for Victini. You just search your deck for an Ultra Beast card and you put it in your hand. And we also have Quick Ball, which can grab all of your Pokemon because, of course, they're all basic. You just pitch a card, search for a basic. Really nice there. And then we also have Pokegear. This is very important to just kind of fish out your supporters. Of course, we only run 8, and so you really need to try to get them to your hand as quick as possible. Something I kind of wanted to add in this deck would maybe be a Pal Pad, depending on just like after getting some more game time, but just like after playing around with this deck, I think Pal Pad could be very helpful for this deck. But since we don't really run abilities and we need some type of way to get some acceleration going with our hand, first we're going to take a look at Acrobike. You just look at the top 2 cards of your deck, you choose one, and you put it in your hand. You put the other one in the discard pile. But with the release of Sword, I just said Sword. Jesus, Sword and Shield. There we go. I need to get a drink of water. With the release of Sword and Shield, we of course got Lucky Egg. Lucky Egg is back, and this card is really, really good with Blacephalon, and it's just for a number of reasons. So with your attack, Fireball Circus, you are discarding cards out of your hand, making your hand size lower. And Lucky Egg reads, if the Pokemon this card is attached to is knocked out by damage from an opponent's attack, trust me guys, 120 damage is not hard to do, especially with how things are these days. Draw until you have 7 cards in your hand. So that means you guys are going to be able to just pretty much refresh your hand, get some more resources ready, and you're not stuck possibly trying to fish out things with greens, using up your supporter for the turn. And we'll get to another card that's going to help you out with that later. But basically, Lucky Egg is just going to get your like hand replenished, so that way next turn when you come up, you have 8 cards to work with, and you have a little more flexibility with your hand. And Lucky Egg is just overall a very solid card to put in this deck because normally you're going to get at least like 3 or 4 cards, which is really cool. And paired up with Fiery Flint, that's another thing that can actually help your Lucky Egg play out a little bit. So you can only play this card if you discard 2 other cards from your hand. So essentially, this is an Ultra Ball for 4 fire energy. You search your deck up for 4 fire energy cards, reveal them, and put them in your hand, and you shuffle your deck. So if you already have a Blacephalon fully on setup, this is going to be 200 damage right here. If you can pull all 4 of them out, that's 200 damage right off the bat. So that's really, really strong with this deck. And then also it just thins your deck out even more. So that means you can draw into these trainers and such that are going to help you out and just getting your turn ready. And another card we're going to take a look at is going to help you. Did my game just crash? My game just crashed. Now you know why sometimes I don't even bother trying to get a gameplay. I just upload the deck because stuff like that happens. Anywho, where were we? Oh yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, I was hovering over the right card. So the card we're going to take a look at next is going to be Beast Ring. Now this card is going to be very beneficial to you because if you're able to play this card, that means you don't have to welder for the turn. I'm about to sneeze. You got to be kidding me. Can I get through this part of the recording without having any complications, please? Okay, anywho, so the next card we're going to be taking a look at is going to be Boostring. Now, the cool thing about this card, it actually serves a couple purposes in this deck. I think the main one being that, like, whenever you actually do get to play this card, that means you don't have to play your Welder for the turn, so that means you can still greens for certain things. But it's pretty much just going to allow you to pull 2 basic energy out of your deck and attach to one of your Ultra Beasts, aka your Blacephalons. And then you just pretty much have one attachment there. Boom, there you go. And you're thinning your deck out, and you still have your supporter and honestly, this is just a card to kind of help you set your field back up, which is really solid. And overall, it's just really good. And so Beast Ring is just going to serve those purposes in your deck. It's a card that's just really nice to have in here. And it's also searchable by greens too. So if you guys just want to search for the Beast Ring directly and along with like a Fire Crystal or something like that, you can definitely do that. But speaking of Fire Crystal, we have 4 of those in this deck because it is so powerful. One Fire Crystal can pretty much mean you can set up a Cephalon right back up, or it can get you 150 damage to work with for that turn. And we also run energy retrieval. I seriously think for this video I should have used a newer energy retrieval in case like a new player doesn't know what this card is. So pretty much this is like a little worse than Fire Crystal, but it's still not a bad card. You just put two basic energy cards from your discard pile into your hand instead of three. And the other tool we actually have in here, I should have covered this, is going to be Beastbringer. So if you don't get to use this pretty much right off the bat, like before you take your first knockout, it's kind of useless. And so pretty much it just becomes like fiery flint bait. You guys will see a gigantic screw up that I did in the gameplay. I for some reason attached this instead of just discarding it with fiery flint. I don't know what I was doing. But it says if you have exactly 6 prize cards remaining and your opponent's active Pokemon GX or EX is knocked out by damage from attack of the Ultra Beast this card is attached to, you take one more prize card. Kind of similar to ADP, sort of. But basically, what you guys can do is attach this to your Blacephalon, and if you have a full 6, you take a knockout, that's one more prize card. So if you're able to take out one of those big tag teams, that's an additional prize card. If you take out a 1 prize attacker, it becomes 2. Or if you guys take out a V or a GX, you guys get what I'm saying. So Beastbringer is very solid. It's also searchable by greens, and we only run one in here just because of the fact that like after that first prize card's taken, it's pretty much a dead card. So it's either going to be a target for Quick Ball, Acrobike, or Fiery Flint after that. So really, you don't need to do too much with it. And also, if you're just getting your cheeks absolutely clapped, we have Reset Stamp just to make your opponent reshuffle their hand. And we're going to round out the deck. Oh wow, I never even looked at Custom Catcher. I didn't look at Custom Catcher, did I? Okay, so custom catcher, Jesus, that sneeze threw me off. So you may play 2 custom catcher at once. If you played one, draw until you have 3 cards in your hand. That can be very helpful. And then if you play 2 of them at the same time, you can just pretty much bring up one of your opponent's Pokemon off the bench. Now, obviously, we have a card coming out that's going to be amazing. That's going to do something very similar to this. But for right now with greens, whenever you play greens, you definitely want to throw some custom catcher in here because if you play one greens, you can just grab both of them out of the deck, or you can grab one if you already have another one in your hand, along with something else. And this can either help you pick stuff off the bench that you can actually knock out if you're just short on some cards. It can help you finish some stuff off, or if your opponent's just building an attacker and you can go ahead and just take it out right there. That's what this card can do as well. Very very good card, and especially with greens, it's just very very solid to have in the deck. And being able to bring up something up off the bench and just discarding a lot of stuff for Fireball Circus and picking it off is just it's fun. And now we're gonna round out the deck with 14 fire energies. There you go. So that is the deck, guys. It's very, very simple to play, and I do have that gameplay coming up for you guys right now, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at that. And I want to say thank you guys again for 1,000 subscribers. I love you guys so much. That meant a lot to me. And let's get to the gameplay. Alrighty, so time for the gameplay, guys. This deck I'm facing off against, I think, was some type of Charizard variant. I'm not 100% sure. Either way, this was actually a pretty decent gameplay showing off what this deck can do. So right off the bat, you guys see, and I'm getting some welders to my hand. I didn't play down any of the lucky eggs early on, just in case my opponent did have like Lysander Labs or just in case some dumb stuff happened. Um, yeah, overall, I mean, it's been pretty fun just trying to get some more content cranked out. I am feeling like the drive again to start producing, and luckily one of my lucky eggs got hit there instead of my welder with that Mars. Otherwise, that'd have been very bad. I probably would have lost there. So it has been just really cool to make content again and have fun making content again. And I have like so many videos and such that I still haven't uploaded yet. I'm still working on future video ideas, including my 1,000 subscriber video. I'm not 100% sure what I want to do for that just yet, but I know that as well just to kind of like give back to you guys as a thank you for supporting me and everything. So right here, guys, I'm getting the welder play off here, and I'm kind of fishing for a Pokemon at this point because I see that my opponent has a Charmander sitting on there, and I know he has a Vulcaner in his hand. So honestly, I don't know why I took the Beast Bringer thing there. Anyway, I messed up with the Beast Bringer this game. I don't know what I was doing there. I forgot I put the Lucky Egg on there like an idiot. So I've been trying to figure out what I want to do for the 1,000 subscriber video aside from the gameplay. I don't know if I just want to do like a generic thinky video or what I want to do just yet, but right here, I was having a panic attack because my opponent promotes the Charmander, and all he needs to do is get a rare candy Charizard, and I lose. And so I see the Volcaner come down, and I'm like, oh, Jesus, there goes this gameplay. I'm going to have to sit there and try to grind for another. And I got like a couple like weird matchups. I faced like some weird water deck first, and then I played like another deck that I ended up like donking. And then I got this one, and this gameplay I felt like was decent enough to upload because it was actually against like something semi-competitive. So I see the communication, and I'm like, okay, so he already has the rare candy, obviously. So I lose, unfortunately. So he plays the communication, and he puts back a Charmander. I'm expecting to take the L here, and he grabs a Type Null. So at this point, I'm thinking, okay, he doesn't have it. I can have a sigh of relief, and I don't have to worry about it too much. And it's been a while since I've got to talk to you guys, man. Life has been wild. My birthday's tomorrow, and I'm doing a weigh-in tomorrow after uh, like weeks of just like working out and trying to get my weight down as much as I could because I'm trying to gun for under 210 pounds. The last time I was under 210 pounds, I was probably like 13 or 14. I've been a fat kid pretty much my whole life, and so tomorrow I turn 27 and I want to get my health on track. I want to be healthy. I don't want to be like a fat slob for the rest of my life. So I'm working on it, and so far seeing some good results. Currently wearing a Mandalorian shirt with Baby Yoda on it because Baby Yoda's freaking dope. What was that? I just heard some nonsense outside my door. I don't know what that was. I'm probably gonna die here in a minute. Anywho, moving on. And this sucker's an extra large, so I'm pretty happy. Like I'm going down in shirt sizes, baby. It's happening. I should talk about the gameplay shit now. You guys don't care about this. So I ended up surviving a turn. I got an Ultra Space out. I got a Blacephalon. You guys probably saw right there when I attached that Beast Springer thing. You're like, what are you doing, Dylan? What are you doing, Dylan? And I should have honestly held that just so I had a target for Fiery Flint. I don't know what I was doing, but I put it down and like immediately I was like, oh god dang it. That's gonna be in the video. There's no way to cut it out. Even if I like cut out me attaching, you can clearly see it on my screen. Oh Jesus. So he brings up Silvally, and I remember the GX attack on Silvally, and I'm like, oh man. And I'm looking at my hand right now, and I'm like, unless I just top deck something, there's no way I can knock this thing out. There's just no way. Unless I just ended up top decking like a fire energy or something. So he's gonna use his GX attack and knock this out here in a second after he draws until he has five. So Valley's actually a really good card. I ordered a couple of those lately, and there goes my Blacephalon. So at this point, I'm hoping that I can get something going here outside of this one Blacephalon. And right now, the Noggin and Dell is not really a target. I know the Silvally can't knock me out, so I should be fine there. So I'm just going to go ahead and Ultra Space because another thing that happened this gameplay was I had two Blacephalon fries, so I had to grab the GX there just to kind of hold off from getting donked. So I'm going to go ahead and attach those two there, and I'm looking at my hand now. There's no way I can knock this thing out, so I might as well just go ahead and damage it a little bit. So I'm going to pitch a greens and I'm going to pitch a reset stamp because I figure if he retreats it and I'm not able to bring it up later on or if, like basically at this point there's just no reason for me to have reset stamp. Like I know he plays Silvally, so all he would have to do is get another type null down and it's just like whatever. Like he can just use its ability and get five. So I went ahead and discarded that. It probably been better to discard the reset stamp and the Beast Springer thing, but yeah, it's kind of sitting there on my Cephalon because I'm an idiot. So we can't do that, can we? And right here, I'm just kind of doing some thinking. Like, do I want to go ahead and use Blazer, or do I want to go ahead and just Fireball Circus? I decided I'm just going to go ahead and take the 200 here. And I do have a custom catcher, and I have a greens in my hand. So unless he resets my hand, I can just bring it back up off the bench and get two free prize cards. And I should be good there. And there you guys see the type null goes up back there. So I feel like discarding the reset stamp right there was a good call. Probably not the second card because that should have been the Beastbringer card thing. Whatever that card's name is, I can't remember the name of it. I've probably been saying it wrong this whole time. Somebody's cringing. Somebody watching this is cringing. It's fine though. So he's getting Noggin and Dell set up, and at this point, I'm thinking maybe he's gonna fee on me and try to stall out a little bit, or he is going to try to set up Noggin and Dell, which is okay because I can actually go from four prizes to three, so that means he's not going to get his additional damage with Noggin and Dell's attack. So that should be pretty decent there. So he's going to promote Fion. I'm guessing he just doesn't want to give up two free prize cards. Like I said, guys, it's fine though. I do have that custom catcher in my hand. And he's going to fire Crystal for a couple fire energies. And now I'm sitting pretty good. It's coming up to my turn. And honestly, my hand's pretty good. So I'm going to play that greens down. And it's time to look through my deck. Of course, I'm going to grab that custom catcher. And I'm going to grab a fire crystal. So that way, I just have some energy to work with. But I have some more decks to kind of focus on getting. I have friends that have the Zacian ADP decks. I'm gonna see if I might be able to pester them to show me their list so I can get a video for that. That's something I'm definitely want to upload, but unfortunately I can't get the cards for that because your boy is broke. Your boy is broke. So we're gonna be attempting to get that here in the future. So I think I am honestly just kind of planning out my turn here. I should have done like some cut editing beforehand. I think I'm just kind of reading some cards and looking at the field and making sure that like I don't need to do anything else here. So I'm gonna go ahead and just Blazer and take the prize card there because I want to hold off on that fire crystal. I just want to save it, and right there I didn't take the fiery flint and ended up getting that. I didn't take the fiery flint because I was trying to get one of my Blacephalon. Lucky I was able to pull one off the prizes. That was very lucky. Anytime that I played Blacephalon, I have had like one prize issue game. I think I had three prize one game. Two of them you're able to get around it if your deck is able to go off. If you're just able to take like a couple knockouts early on, especially with the Beast Bringer, whatever it's called, that usually helps out a lot. Just getting that. So the cool thing about taking the two prizes there, like I mentioned before, is now Noggin and Dell's not going to get its additional damage. So that means pretty much when it comes back to my turn, I can just knock out this Noggin and Dell, and then that'll put me at one prize card, and I can just come up and burst GX for later. And I do have that fire crystal that I got last turn, so I'm able to just kind of grab a few fire energy. And honestly, guys, I'm sitting pretty good. Even if he does knock out my Blacephalon, I have Beast Ring, so I can use that. And I'm just going to go ahead and try to Pokegear for some supporters. Unfortunately, I do miss that one. And I think overall, this was like a good demonstration on how to play this deck. I mean, it's very straightforward. For some reason, I'm almost attaching that fire energy to that Blacephalon. I don't know what I was doing there. Past Dylan makes questionable mistakes. I finally remembered that Burst GX was a thing. I'm still getting used to playing with the GX. I haven't really got to use that too much. So I knock out the Noggin and Dell. I don't take the Fiery Flint here just because of the fact that if he does reset stamp me, I don't want to draw into a Fiery Flint just so it's not a dead card in my hand. So that's why I didn't take that there. But he's gonna rare candy, and I'm guessing Charizard's finally gonna come out, and it's just too late. I mean, even if he takes this out. So overall, decent game. Hopefully, gave you guys an idea of how to play this deck. And I just want to say, guys, I'm probably not going to be able to say this enough. Thank you so much for 1,000. Thank you so much for 1,000, guys. That is a number that, like, I know this is pretty generic for a YouTuber to say. I didn't think I'd hit this number, but legitimately, I didn't think I'd ever hit this number. When I started out, I had a goal of 500. I hit 500 and just excelled, and I hit 1,000, and that is because of you guys. And without you guys, I would be nothing. I wouldn't be able to do this without you guys tuning into my videos week in and week out. So, thank you so much. But here we go, guys. I give them the GG, be a fair sport, and Burst GX is going to give me the game. And I am not taking that off because I don't want to misclick and use my GX attack. So there we go. The victory comes in, and that is Green's Blacephalon. And I will have another version of this deck coming up for you guys soon. And on top of that, I have another Deck Wizard video that's going to be coming out soon, and I have another gameplay video using that Oceana Firebox deck. That'll probably be the next video. I don't know yet. Either the Blacephalon or it'll be that one. Let me know what you guys want to see. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic day, guys. And this is Epic Pokemon TCG signing out.
Don't forget to like, follow, and obey.